Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the pattern and the changing needs of economics as a subject for preparing for preliminary exam of civil services. Now civil service exam has been quite different this year and they are more emphasized on agriculture and current affairs, and they have also changed their emphasis towards knowledge of current affairs and knowledge of basic concepts, and also they have stressed upon the interdisciplinary nature of the questions being asked. Now let's have a look at the 2020 paper and what is the orientation of the paper. Now when we come to the analysis of the 2020 paper, we see that there are a lot of interdisciplinary linkages between topics. Now as we see, there are governance, that is economics plus governance is 3 questions have been asked. Purely economics basic concepts are 17 questions. Same way history and economy, which is Hundi system, or what we say impact of British rule or economic impact of British rule. So we have history and economy 2 questions, we have science and economy 10 questions, we have agriculture and economy which is 13 questions. So purely economics based is 17 questions. Now 17 questions will be there in your standard books or what we say your class notes, but we need to incorporate UPSC domain for governance, history, science, agriculture and related concepts. Now how to go about this interrelationship? Now in today's class we'll be broadly discussing that how do we handle this as a concept. Now when we come to how to catch up with the concepts, now first of all, for most important aspect here is important of government sources. Now what do you mean by government sources here? The first is your economic survey, then you have the budget documents, then you have annual report of various ministries, then you have importance of various concepts such as Arthopedia, like the discussion of concepts in Arthopedia, RBI speeches, PRS India monthly policy review, then Yojana and Kurukshetra. So all these are very important when you look at the dynamic nature of the examination, and also the interdisciplinary nature forces us to have a broad outlook upon governance topics, agriculture topics which usually come in Yojana and Kurukshetra, budget and economic survey, and also the RBI speeches which are also becoming multidisciplinary, incorporating aspects of agriculture, governance, science and technology, etc. Now important thing to note in those 17 basic concepts is also that there is no particular emphasis on a particular topic. It is broad based, that is you might have equal division between banking, trade, balance of payments or budget, survey, basic concepts. And lastly, interlinking with government schemes and implementation aspects is very important. That is, suppose KCC is there or Kisan Credit Card is there. What does it do? Or what does a particular, what we say is funds, functions and functionaries. That is, like most of you have heard these terms before, funds, functions and functionaries, which is nothing but how are the funds being used, what are the functions, what is exactly the function of that particular thing, what is it meant to do, like Kisan Credit Card, what is it exactly meant to do, and how do we do it, or which ministry does it. So these are the important aspects, and the key takeaway is what is your basic understanding of the concept. So if you have understood the concept well, for example, if you know that FRBM statement is for this and this purpose, or macroeconomic framework statement is this, or interest coverage ratio is meaning is this. So the basic understanding combined with funds, function and functionaries of each aspect are very important to cover for the exam. Now coming to what is the importance of the syllabus here. Now largely, as we have discussed before in my strategy class as well, where the link you can check out the link of the strategy video, we noticed that more and more topics in mains, that is topics in mains syllabus, are being factually oriented towards preliminary. So if you look at the main syllabus of GS3, that is a lot of agriculture topics would be there. For example, WTO, marketing, irrigation techniques, cropping patterns. So all that, the analytical aspect is asked in mains and the factual aspect is being asked in prelims. So that is what we have stressed upon also in our strategy video, that you have to more focus upon the words mentioned in the syllabus and cover the factual aspects for both prelims and also for value addition in mains. And also there is not much departure from coverage of the topics if we compare from past. Although the paper looks not conventional, but if you look at the topics, the interdisciplinary nature, the combination of economics with other subjects, that is what we showed in our strategy video itself, that from 2015 onwards, we see a definite trend where UPSC is shifting from basic concepts towards interdisciplinary nature of the concepts. Now in today's paper or today's presentation, we'll be discussing that how is the pattern changing, what are the interdisciplinary questions look like, and how did Manifest IAS as an institute, or how did I incorporate these changes in the exam or in my teaching style, and how is Manifest IAS test series and class notes a good source to cover your economics as a concept and also the interdisciplinary nature of the questions and how to handle them. Now, as we see, the first question is about Aadhaar. So Aadhaar is mostly a governance question. But if you look at the interdisciplinary nature of the UPSC, there are 4 statements. Although only the 4th statement is maybe an economics concept, where all schemes will be having mandatory requirement to have Aadhaar linkages. That is, all centrally sponsored schemes will have Aadhaar linking as a mandatory criteria. So that is what we had covered in our test series as well, where test series asked you a question that PFMS or Public Fund Management System will have a concept where Aadhaar would be mandatory. Now coming to the next question, which is FRBM. So as we discussed in the beginning, so if you know the simple components that there are 3 statements under FRBM, you would be able to reach the answer, where macroeconomic framework statement is a component of Fiscal Responsibility and Budgetary Management Act. So covering the basic concepts, that what is basic concepts in the budget, or what is the procedure of the budget. That is, how does the funds function and functionaries handle the procedures or handle the step-by-step approach towards announcing the budget documents, or having an overview about what are the key terms announced in the budget will help you solve this question. Also, this was covered in our class notes because we covered basic concepts very thoroughly in class. So we can clearly see that FRBM has been covered in class and all statements have been given and explained, where we talk about macroeconomic framework statement, fiscal policy strategy statement, medium-term framework statement, etc. Now coming to the next question, which is gold tranche or reserve tranche position refers to. Now this is a standard question where anybody who has done IMF properly will know the meaning of word gold tranche or reserve tranche. Also, when we discuss about components of foreign exchange reserves, we clearly mentioned that it is reserve tranche position or RTP, reserve tranche position in the IMF of SDRs, or what we say, the special drawing rights. So you could easily reach the option D, which is a credit system granted by the IMF, and we said it's a artificial currency. SDR is an artificial currency where we borrow money from IMF in terms of SDRs. So it is D is the option. Now coming to the next one, it is about economics plus history now. So it is about your impact of British rule on India. So we can clearly see that we have interlinkages with history also, where the answer is A, where Indian handicrafts were ruined because of the deindustrialization process followed by the British in India. Now coming to the next one, again, bill of exchange, although a concept of hundi was started in medieval India, but a bill of exchange, it is one component of money market. And also in class we cover aspects like hundi, hawala, etc. So hundi is nothing but a bill of exchange. Now coming to the next question. Now next question might seem tricky because it is about artificial intelligence. And again about artificial intelligence, we have various options, which makes it more difficult to decipher. So if you are aware of the basic concepts, like we had covered in class the basic concepts about AI, that what are they capable of? They're capable of perception, communication, knowledge, reasoning, planning, etc. So now when we look at the statement and we apply the concept, we'll be able to reach the answer. So that is how we cover basic concepts. So if you are aware about the basic concepts and you have a basic understanding of what is the potential of AI, what can it do, what cannot do, then you will be able to cover the topic comprehensively. Again, when we discuss about blockchain technology, again in blockchain, it is not just cryptocurrency. We had talked about blockchains and land reforms. We had covered blockchain in ledgers, in various aspects of issuing certificates, etc. So you'll be able to decipher the question in terms of whether it is compulsory or whether somebody's permission is required or not. Although because it is a software, so we can do it. It is not just limited to cryptocurrency only. So you could figure out the question very easily, where the correct answer would be D, 1 and 3 only. Now coming to the next question, which is 42nd question in your set B. So this is about drones, and we had talked about main syllabus where the topic is e-technology in aid of farmers. So clearly drones can be used to spray pesticides in the crop field. They can be used to inspect volcanoes, and also the third statement which was there in the news in the Hindu, where drones were used to collect the sprouts of DNA samples from whales. So clearly 1, 2, 3. So combination of current affairs, science and technology, agriculture, your GS3 mains topics, basic concepts of drones, etc. would be required to solve this question. So that's why I'm stressing upon the fact that the question paper is becoming more and more interdisciplinary in nature. So here the correct answer would be D, or 1, 2, 3 on all of the above. Again, we had covered this aspect in our test series, where directly we had asked that can drones be used to spray pesticides? Can drones be used for a particular purpose? So clearly Manifest test series was there up front, and also our class notes were making it clear. Basically, it is our emphasis to clear your basic understanding about the topic. What is its functions? What are the roles? What are its positives, negatives, limitations, possibilities, etc. So although it's a science and tech topic, we had covered these aspects in technology in aid of farmers, and also the aspect of drone policy. So it is emphasis on policies, programs and schemes, or what we say, there is mission, scheme and policy, which we try to cover comprehensive in class in terms of what are the functions, what are the aspects, who is the beneficiary, how do we implement those schemes, what are the steps involved, etc. Now coming to the next question, it is about health concept, which is numerical conjugate. So again, we see interlinkages between health and economics. So it is about, in health, we had covered the whole vaccination program. Although this question involves some aspects of science and technology also. So it is not about subject knowledge. It is also about subject knowledge having linkages with other subjects such as economy, history, polity, governance, etc. Again, public key infrastructure. So as part of our discussion in class about social and physical infrastructure, we had talked about digital infrastructure as a new age infrastructure, and also Reliance Jio and many other aspects of 4G and 5G technology, where digital infrastructure involves physical security of the system, the active key, the encrypted key, and also there was a lot of controversy regarding WhatsApp messages, encryption, etc. So again, 46 answer would be A. Again, it is not purely an economy question, but it is economics policy. Policy would be in economics, say software policy or your cryptocurrency policy, etc., which is about your digital security infrastructure. Again, now next question talks about global financial crisis. So we had discussed in class about subprime crisis, the global financial crisis, the global contagion effect of the crisis. So the question is simply asking that what can minimize the contagion towards India. So we can clearly see that if we depend more on foreign currency, if we go for fuller capital account convertibility, that is Tarapore Committee. So in class we had discussed about Tarapore Committee and global contagion. So eliminating the option, we can see that the answer would be that one only, because it is saying most likely to give some immunity, that is not depending on short-term foreign borrowing. Then coming to the next question, which is a very interesting question. So again, it is about, about what is the impact on money supply. So in class we had covered about M1, M2, M3 comprehensively. That is about narrow money, broad money, money multiplier, etc. Now mostly people do not see the question properly. So you have to be very careful about what is the demand of the question or what is the ask of the question. Now the ask of the question here is demand deposits. Now clearly M1 is currency plus demand deposits plus other deposits. That is currency plus demand deposits plus other deposits. That means if you withdraw demand deposits to currency or vice versa, it makes no impact on M1. So therefore, the money supply will remain unchanged. Although if it was saying loans or time deposits or M3, then we would have said that money multiplier is there and maybe there would be increase in the money supply. That is credit creation by the bank. So if we are very clear about a basic understanding of banking process of money creation, although this has also been covered by NCERT macro book. So the correct answer here would be D, which is to leave it unchanged. So again, as we discussed, this was discussed in class about basic concepts of M1, M2, M3, concept of narrow money, broad money. So narrow is simply due to the fact where M1 is called narrow money because there is no impact or minimal impact on the change in money supply. Now coming to the next question, which is FDI. Now in FDI also we talked about that FDI is non-debt creating. Debt creating we discussed was about foreign currency convertible bond. It was about ADR, GDR. It was about ECB. So non-debt creating simply here means that we don't need to return the money. We don't need to pay interest on it. There is no concept of interest coverage or debt service here. So FDI simply answer would be B, which is non-debt creating flow. Even FII would be non-debt creating flow. But again, FIIs may invest in debt instruments, but FDI will purely be in buying out companies, merger and acquisitions, or share market, etc. Now coming to the next question, which is about India's merchandise exports. Now India's merchandise exports as a question talks about import of steel, chemicals, it talks about, import of services, trade account, current account. So all these aspects were also covered in our balance of payments chapter. And we also discuss about major trading partners, what are the major items of import and export in the class, which is top 5 imports, top 5 exports. So here clearly the answer would be 1, 3, 4 only. Now coming to the next one, which is WTI or West Texas Intermediate. Now as part of discussion of our global financial crisis, we discussed about NYMEX, we discussed about sweet crude, hard crude, and we discussed comprehensively about PCPIR policy, etc. And we discussed about oil pricing in India as well. So we talk about WTI. So WTI was clearly part of crude oil. And we also talk about wealth generation in class when we discuss crude oil, bullion, we discuss about stock market, real estate. All those aspects would be comprehensively covered in class. Now coming to the next one, which is non-financial debt. So here what we mean is importance of keywords. The importance of keywords, that is non-financial. So non-financial debt is what? Non-financial debt is simply debt which is not owed to financial companies. So this was a very tough question, I would say. So if you are not clearly understood the topic, it is not, if you go for guess mastergiri, then you might get this question wrong. So here the correct answer is 1, 2, 3, because even the government is a physical player, it is not a financial player, and treasury bills are borrowing of the government. Again, coming to 55th question, safeguards of IAEA. We discuss infrastructure as a topic where we discuss about power, ports, roads, highways, etc. And we'd also discuss about issue of shortage of nuclear fuel. That's why India is not able to expand nuclear power production. And we talk about safeguards of IAEA, where we clearly distinguish between sanctions which are for foreign supplies of fuel rather than domestic supplies of fuel. So clearly the correct answer is B, although this has some linkage with governance, polity and IR. Now coming to next one, which is TRIMS. Again, TRIMS does not cover service sector, so second option will not be there. Again, it is also about domestic content requirement. We discussed the solar dispute in class. So clearly the correct answer here is 1 and 3 only. Again, next one is a very basic concept about expansionary monetary policy. So what will the RBI not do, or what will the RBI do in case of loose monetary policy or tight monetary policy? So clearly here the correct answer is 2 only, and we discuss all aspects like MSF, repo rate, reverse repo rate, money market, capital market in class. Again, from manifest test series itself, we have talked about what will cause increase in money supply, what will cause the changes in your quantitative and qualitative aspects, etc. Then next one is a very tough question, because most of you will not be able to recall the trends only a few students will be able to recall the trends, although these trends are necessary to do well in mains. So clearly this was a question which was meant to be left this year, although the correct answer this year is 3 and 4 only, or option B. In the previous question also, you could have clearly seen the word steadily, or you could have clearly seen the decrease in rural area, although these are contrary to the reform processes. Then coming to the next one, although this is also a very tough question, but in class we clearly mentioned that 70% of total credit is from scheduled commercial banks because of the priority sector lending requirements. So clearly first statement would be wrong. Although second statement would be difficult to comprehend, although we had covered this comprehensively as part of our rural credit policy chapter, where DCCB or credit cooperatives will be mainly responsible to supply credit to primary agriculture credit societies. And we had clearly mentioned the ratios in class that 70% or majority of the lending to the agriculture, short term, long term, is through scheduled commercial banks. Again, coming to next one, which is cyber insurance. Although this is also a very confusing question, very tough question, and you might have different concepts of cyber insurance by different players like HDFC, ICICI or SBI might offer different versions of the cyber policy. But overall, 1, 2, 3, 4 or all statements have been there in the news recently, and a lot of scams were there by RBI, a lot of what we say. Now when we come to third party, the logical explanation is what? Suppose the bank takes a cyber insurance for the ATM. So the customer, the person who loses the money, becomes a third party. So clearly banks are insuring themselves to pay you. That's why banks, it was somewhere related to banking frauds, the cyber frauds in RBI. It was a lot of that. It was there in the news last year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all options would be covered. Now coming to question number 61. Again, this is about what is public investment in agriculture. We had comprehensively covered what do you mean by public investment, what is investment, what is capital expenditure, what is revenue expenditure. So clearly shortlisting the revenue and the capital, we could have clearly seen that the answer would be 2, 3 and 6 only. Again, next one is interest coverage ratio, or what we say debt service ratio. So we had talked about the concept of leveraging in class, where leverage ratio or debt service ratio, interest coverage ratio is the main thing which banks look at when financing the loans. Now in this question, the correct answer is 1 and 2 only, although there is a slight error in the slide. 1 and 2 only is the correct answer, where the third one should be lower, not higher. So because the interest has to be low, not high. Now coming to the next question, again it is about price of rice. We had talked about minimum support prices. We had talked about open market sales scheme. Open market sales scheme is nothing but the government trading. We had talked about Shantakumar committee, where the excessive stockpiling was leading to higher price of rice. We had talked about issue prices, procurement prices, etc. So clearly 1, 2, 3, 4 or all options given are correct. Now coming to the next question, which is 64th question. Again, we had discussed about direction of trade, composition of trade, and we had mentioned that Bangladesh is the largest partner within South Asia. Also, the relation with Sri Lanka has been going up and down, so it is not a steady increase, consistent increase. So clearly one could eliminate the first and second line. Or what we say, and textiles, because of the textile policy, tough scheme in India. We had discussed that Bangladesh is doing well, India is not. Although they are facing a lot of human rights issues, a lot of factory fires were there in Bangladesh. So India has a clear opportunity in textiles. We had discussed all these aspects in class, and clearly 2 only is the right answer. Now coming to the next question, which is G20, which is international groupings. Although this question was a bit tough because you could get confused easily by Canada, Singapore, South Korea mentioned in the question. So, but the clear answer is, A. Now coming to next one, which is Kisan Credit Card. Again in Kisan Credit Card, we had discussed in detail that what is covered under Kisan Credit Card and what is not covered between short term, long term, capital, revenue, etc. In fact, we had covered this as a question in our test series as well, that what are the possibilities. And we clearly see common words like household expenditure, cold storages in the question, which we had given for your prelims test series at Manifest IAS. Now coming to next one, which is weightage of CPI, WPI. We had clearly discussed about RBI using CPI. We had clearly discussed about the weightage of food as a thing. We had talked about inclusion of services in CPI. Again, the question would have 1 and 2 only as the answer. Now next is about the MSP. So in class we had discussed the whole concept of PM ASHA. We had talked about your what we say oilseed pricing, pulses, the what we say open-ended procurement and closed-ended procurement. So one could easily arrive at the answer where neither 1 or 2 will be the answer. So again, we had discussed this in the test series as well, where we talked about open-ended supply of rice and wheat itself, not of pulses, and also the limits of pulses regarding the buffer stock created for pulses, which was 20 lakh tons. It was having a limit. It was not unlimited. Next one is also clearly covered in class as part of our money market. And we know money market is a short-term market, short-term. So we had discussed 7 components of money market, which is repo, reverse repo, treasury bill, CP, CD, etc. So clearly using the options, we could have reached the answer, which is 1 and 3 only. Also, we had discussed this as part of our test series, where we discussed each and every component of the money market as an instrument. Now, next one is steel slag and everything. So this is about, because we were able to comprehensively cover aspects of Yojana and Kurukshetra as part of our current affairs initiatives and also as part of our lecture series, which is main classroom. We were able to cover comprehensively the impact of geotextiles, agriculture soils, and also the aspect of steel slag. So clearly we can see in class notes, the concept of green roads in rural development has been discussed, and we have mentioned steel slag, copper slab, etc. Copper slag, etc. So again, geotextiles was an article in using geotextiles to make roads, was an article in Yojana in Kurukshetra. So clearly you have to depend on Yojana, Kurukshetra and government sources to clear this exam. Now coming to next point, which is also about coal ash. So we had discussed about what we say mega power projects, and we discussed about high ash content in Indian coal, and we talked about coal ash heat recovery, which drives efficiency in your mega power projects. So we had discussed about sulfur dioxide, and we had discussed about sweet crude and hard crude, and we discussed sweet crude is having less sulfur content. So sulfur comes from the refinery. So 1, 2, 3, all 3 statements would be correct. Now coming to 80th question, which is about biochar. So I remember telling you about, or in class we had discussed about biochar as a concept. We had discussed about pine needle collection, pine needles to be collected in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand to prevent forest fires, and also to be used as a residue or a addition to your urban farming, and also as biochar can be used as an alternative fuel. So using all those concepts, we could easily arrive at the answer, which is 1, 2 and 3. Again, zero tillage was very specifically discussed in prevention of air pollution in Delhi, air pollution, and also about direct seeding of, that is SRI technique, that is system of rice intensification, and system of wheat intensification was clearly discussed in class. Zero farming was discussed in class. So 1, 2, 3 is the right answer. Again, coming to the next question, we had discussed comprehensively what is national biofuel policy, how has it been changed. We discussed about the importance of food versus fuel controversy, and we gave a question also in your prelims, which is exactly matching the question being asked, that what is the importance of cassava, corn, sweet sorghum in your biofuel policy. Now coming to the next one, which is social cost of carbon. So we have discussed the concept of shadow prices and the social cost of carbon by using carbon credit as a concept, and clearly option would be A. So we had even discussed this in a test series, that what do you mean by the carbon credit. Then coming to next one, which is a very tough question for mains, that is about cropping patterns. So it is a mix of geography and economy. Here the correct answer is 1 only. Then next one, it is also about geography and economy when we discussed about cotton dominance in West India. So it is about frost-free days and all the temperature requirement, which is geography and economy question. Then coming to solar power, we had discussed about Kusum scheme in class, Kusum scheme, and we discussed about aspects of solar energy for running various kind of pumps. So clearly neither one nor two would be the answer. Now coming to the next one, which is sugarcane production. Now each year we notice that a particular crop, say sugarcane or cotton, has become very important for covering the syllabus. So here answer is 1 and 4 only. Now coming to next question, which is question number 90. So what is eco-friendly for agriculture? So as part of our sustainable agriculture development class, we had covered all aspects of crop diversification, legume, vertical farming, tensometer use, etc. So here 1, 2, 3, 4 is the right answer. Again, fertigation was clearly covered as part of fertigation fumigation measures. Even we asked a question on fertigation in your prelims test series, which is effective use of fertilizers, increase in effectiveness, decrease eutrophication, etc. Then again, major and minor minerals concept was covered in class, but although this is a very tough question because you need to exactly know the list, although we did not cover the list this time, but we gave you a concept where what is major and what is minor as part of your economics test series. Then lastly, we talked about pricing of fertilizer products. We talked about new fertilizer policy, the subsidy regime, the direct benefit transfer. So clearly from class notes, we could reach, or from the test series, we could reach the answer, which is 2 and 3 only. We talked about 100% subsidy or subsidy rationalization, etc. Then lastly, we talked about the groundwater usage or the effective usage of groundwater. We talked about the water stress shown by NASA in Punjab and Haryana because of Green Revolution. We talked about failure of Green Revolution, the impact of Central Groundwater Authority, it being part of the Environmental Protection Act, etc. So one could combine the science lecture and the economy lecture to reach answer, which is 2 and 3 only. So clearly we see this is a big departure from the past. You need to have a comprehensive look at the annual reports, Yojana, Kurukshetra, basic concepts. So it is clearly a dynamic paper linking current affairs and your basic concepts together. So all of this would be helpful in reorienting your strategy for the future, especially when if you are clearing prelims, pay attention to the main syllabus. If you're not clearing prelims, pay attention to the main syllabus and do the factual analysis of the paper. Make sure you read the right sources of government sources, that is Economic Survey, Yojana, Kurukshetra, PRS India, etc. Thank you.